She's underplaying what she makes. She is trying to scam the system so that she can stay home and be taken care of by her new boyfriend and bring in as much money as the state will give her.
Do you have other income producing activities that you perform?
I hand make tumblers. My income is so small, and it varies greatly. I would say maybe $200 a month to maybe $500 a month.
It's my belief that he is voluntarily underemployed.
So if we want to go off of that,
the parent who's not paying his income changes child support very little.
So I'm going to decline to put any further restrictions on time with grandparents.
Your Honor, I have submitted so many documents on Paula Klein. She has to self-medicate with marijuana all day. She's been in multiple car accidents. Her bumper is all busted up because she smokes weed and drives.
Ms. Mills, as a current TANF recipient, we have imputed her income at the current minimum wage for 32 hours per week per the statute, giving her a net monthly income of $19.53.
She is trying to scam the systems.
And do I have Samuel Mills present?
I am present, Your Honor.
And Rebecca Mills.
I'm here.
Okay. And I will be honest with the parties. A minute before I started docket, I was handed Rebecca Mills' proposed parenting plan. So I have not had a chance to review it, nor have I had a chance to compare it to see where the differences may be. I don't know, Mr. and Mrs. Mills, if the two of you have talked about these orders.
No, we haven't.
You've not. Okay. Let me just take a quick peek now while you're in front of me. I do see the child support order for Ms. Looney as well. Let me just take a quick peek and see if it's something where there's a lot of.
There are a lot of differences. One of them, he has custody, and one of them, I have custody. So they differ greatly.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
I think that mine more closely resembles Tina Day's recommendation.
Okay. Does Ms. Day have a copy of your proposed plan, Ms. Mills?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm inclined to do, just because we're about 30 minutes before this docket would end, I would like to, since I now have Ms. Mills, your proposed parenting plan, I'd like to set this over 1 week so that I have time to thoroughly review where the disagreements are. And then when we come back, we can have very pointed conversations on those pieces of disagreement. Would that be acceptable to the parties?
I really was hoping that we would have
Ms. Mills, you handed me a proposed parenting plan 1 minute before docket. So actually
I had it in on Wednesday, last Wednesday, a week ago. Sam, I was served with his last night. My reasoning is that it is
No, that's not what we're going to do. So Mr. Mills, do you have an objection?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not going to make a ruling off the cuff when I've been handed parenting plans at the last minute. So we're going to set this over 1 week and you guys will be back here at 9 a.m. and we'll go through the orders at that time.
Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Day.
I have no objection to setting it over 1 week. I would just want to make sure that I was clear in the understanding. We are supposed to be presenting the order from June 28th that adopted the GAL recommendations based on the commissioner, your ruling on June 28th. I don't believe that either of these are accurately reflecting that. Is there something that I could do that would help prepare that? Or is there something you want to just wait until next week?
Yeah, I do see that, Ms. Day. You are absolutely correct. So it does, and then Ms. Looney, your proposed orders are based on the outcome of the court's prior ruling?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you
And
for pointing that out, Ms. Day. I had not caught that.
Yes, and we were supposed to be entering the child support orders today, if I understood
Yeah.
correctly as
Yeah,
well.
okay. So I guess I'll turn to the parties. If you both have presented to the court orders that don't accurately reflect prior court orders or rulings, what's the reason for that?
My only difference is that I changed the weekends. And I didn't include Wednesday nights. I have a protection order against Samuel. And I think 4 times a week doing exchanges is a lot. I think it's a lot on the kids.
What other areas? So let's go through this. I think Ms. Day's point that this is, you all were supposed to be submitting proposed orders in accordance with the report. Let's just move forward on it today so we can get this entered.
So the ruling from June 28th, Your Honor, adopted the GAL recommendations, which were residential time to father on first, third, and fourth weekend of every month, as defined by Friday, beginning after work or 5 p.m. until Sunday at 6, and every week on Wednesday from after work or 5 p.m. until 7. And then any non-school or otherwise undesignated holidays would attach to the corresponding weekend. The holidays would be alternated moving forward, with the division for Christmas or winter break, Thanksgiving, Father's Day and Mother's Day, and July 4th. Summer would remain the same schedule as the school schedule, with each parent having an additional 2 separate 7-day blocks of time for vacation as would be appropriate. The parents would communicate using our family wizard or similar to maintain scheduling of appointments and providing notice without having to have direct contact.
I do see that. And wait, the recommendation is that mother remains primary residential parent.
That is correct.
Okay.
And there should be a restriction that prohibits any corporal punishment of the children, and that both parents have equal and unhampered access to the children's medical, dental, education, and extracurricular activities and joint decision-making, to include medical, dental, childcare, etc. If the court would prefer, I can probably get that started to put together. I don't remember now what mothers said. I just knew it wasn't what was ordered.
Yeah, and I think what I'll do, I think mothers is pretty close.
Okay.
I'm gonna take mothers proposed and amend per the Guardian ad litem report, and I'll get that filed with the clerk after docket today.
Okay. And then one other thing that I wanted to bring up to the court was father was ordered to complete a domestic violence evaluation, which he did complete. And that I filed a copy of that one as soon as I received it, so the court would have that. I would note in that that was a collateralized report, and in that report, the evaluator, Stacy Crutcher McFadden, recommended that mother also have a domestic violence evaluation based on the reported information from both parents. So I would ask that the court include that today, that mother should also complete a domestic violence evaluation and provide a copy of that to the court, and it should be, again, collateralized.
So Ms. Mills, have you received the recommendation? I think it was filed with us back in June, about a month ago,
Yeah.
recommending a DV evaluation for yourself.
Yes.
Okay, have you been able to get that done?
No, it wasn't ordered yet. So,
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and order that in the parenting plan. So get that done as soon as you can.
okay.
The question, I think Ms. Mills, you said you thought that the visitation was too much given the protection order in place.
I think that Wednesday evenings. Yeah, I don't think that that's necessary. And I don't think that his work schedule will really allow it. I don't see it happening. But one thing that I did ask for was instead of first, third, and fourth weekend for Samuel, I asked for first, third, and fifth. There are quite a few fifth weekends. I would just really like some weekends with my children. My oldest son has a birthday coming up on August 4th, and I'm aware that I'm going to miss this birthday, but I'd like a chance to have a birthday party for him where, friends and family can come.
So my reasoning for doing the first, third, and fourth, Your Honor, was to give mother the second and the fifth. There are generally 3 fifth weekends in a year. Father had been having every weekend. Mother was having none. Mother is not employed. She is home every day with the children. And so she is having the lion's share time. And it seemed appropriate to provide for the children's relationship with their father at the most opportune times, which are the weekends and the evening. If father isn't able to do the Wednesdays, then I think that is appropriate. He needs to respond and let us know if he's able to. My understanding was he was.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep, I think that's good rationale for why we're doing first, third, and fourth, so that, ma'am, you're having second and fifth, since you also stated there's several periods with a fifth weekend. So I'm going to keep it as proposed in the GAL report, and I will amend your order in that effect. Mr. Mills, let me hear from you on the Wednesday pickup.
I can do Wednesdays, no problem. My issue and my reasoning for suggesting that I have primary custody is I truly don't believe that Rebecca's stable.
Okay, well, we're not, at this point, for purposes of entry of the temporary parenting plan, I am not going to readdress primary residential parent. That will remain with Ms. Mills. Certainly that could be an issue for trial or mediation for your permanent orders. So I just want to go back to the question I asked, which is, are you able to do the every week on Wednesdays pickup?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll go ahead and keep that as proposed.
And Your Honor,
Go ahead.
for the Wednesdays, I think I could be wrong, but I think she recommended that he drops off at 7 p.m. And that is when we start bedtime. Usually our pickup and drop off is 6 p.m. So can we do, from the time he gets off work to 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m.? This is an issue
Sure.
we previously had.
Sir, when do you get off work?
I work construction, and so the hours vary.
Okay.
But 6 p.m. is just not long enough. I don't have enough time with my kids. Every time I'm with my kids, they express to me that how much they miss me. My son, every weekend I picked my son up, he's told me, he straight up said, "I love you more than mom. I wish I was with you more than mom."
Well, okay. I'm not considering that for purposes of this. Those are hearsay statements from a child made out of court right now. But what I am asking you is, do you typically pick up at 5 p.m. or is it earlier than that?
I pick up for our current schedule 6 p.m. I would like it to be sooner, but not have to have them back soon, or not have to give them back to her sooner.
You pick up at 6 p.m.
Yes.
on Wednesday?
Well, no, I haven't had Wednesdays.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I would like to keep a 2-hour window. So what I will put in there is the default will be 5 to 7 p.m. However, it's going to be 2 hours on Wednesdays. So, sir, if you're able to pick up at 4, get them home by 6. But our goal is to give you that 2 hours on Wednesdays, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And Your Honor,
Go ahead.
I don't know if you have a moment to just look over the parenting plan that Samuel proposed. He was trying to give me every other weekend, but I don't understand why it's appropriate for him to not have every other weekend, but he seems to think that it is appropriate for me to have every other weekend.
Yeah, so I'm not going off of his parenting plan. I'm going off of the GAL report.
Okay.
So we're going to stick with the recommended for purposes of the temporary plan. We are adopting the residential visitation time per the GAL report. All right, as far as the parenting plan, and I'm going to go through this with a fine tooth comb to make sure what I sign complies with the GAL recommendation, with the addition of the DV evaluation for mom, and the notation of 2 hours on Wednesdays, which is presumed to be 5 to 7 p.m., but can be earlier. Anything else we need to address on the record on the parenting plan? Okay, I'm going to get that signed after docket, and it will conform to the GL report, but for the 2 items I just discussed. So let's move to the child support order.
Your Honor,
Go ahead, Ms.
I'm
Mills.
sorry, I lost my train of thought for a moment. In the parenting plan, I would like proof that he is complying with the DV treatment that was recommended before visitation. I did add that in mine to have it submitted to the court and myself. Can we add that?
I'm just looking at the prior bench orders to see if it's already addressed.
I don't believe it is.
And I don't believe that was the order of the court, just that he comply with the evaluation and then follow. I think it would be appropriate to give a deadline to begin. I don't know if Mr. Mills has started yet. I know that he did complete the evaluation timely. So I would just ask that he start that at a certain date. So it not.
Yeah, and Mr. Mills, have you had a chance to begin any treatment recommended?
No, Your Honor, I was waiting for this hearing to hear what was ordered.
Okay. About the completion of parenting class. Just looking.
On his DV evaluation, she states that she recommends 12 months of DV treatment for Samuel Mills and that I get evaluated. So I would hope that we would order the 12 months, and I would just like proof that he's doing that before visits.
So what I'm going to do is in the parenting plan, I'm going to note that he has completed his DV eval and he is to follow the treatment recommendation and provide proof. I'm not going to put any caveat that occur before visitation. I think the place that we're in and reading this report is, I think the evaluator's opinion was that both parties were contributing to the environment that they define as toxic. So I'm not going to put the requirement in that proof take place before visitation, but I will reiterate in the parenting plan miscellaneous orders that mom get a DV evaluation and comply with treatment. Dad has done his DV evaluation and he is to comply with the treatment recommended.
Okay, thank you. And I had one other thing.
Yes.
I have asked and we've said we'll address it at the next one. We'll address it at the next one, and we've never addressed it yet. I would like to ask for the right of first refusal. It's my understanding that on Samuel's weekends that the children are left for him to go and work overtime. I believe with their grandmother, who I have issues with her being a caregiver. Just that anything over like 2 to 4 hours that I'm notified or asked first.
And I think, which grandparent are you referring to? I think she is.
Uh, It's Paula Klein. She's the one filing all of these.
And Ms. Day, since you had a chance to talk with Ms. Klein, were there concerns for you from a perspective of grandparent involvement?
No, I did not have any concerns for either grandparent. Both have spent regular time with the children. Miss Klein specifically has spent regular time with the kids during the relationship and the marriage. So I don't have any issue with that. Father doesn't generally work overtime, but there are occasions, and I think it's appropriate if he has a family member who is close by who can provide that child care for that few hours, should that become necessary. I think if it's overnight, like he's not going to be home, that should then be mother's time. I think that is reasonable and appropriate.
I've been told that he's leaving for work at like 1 a.m. And so his mother's having to stay the night so that he can go to work in the morning. And it makes me so uncomfortable.
May I?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Mills.
I've left for work. The earliest I've ever left for work is 3 a.m. And that has happened one single time. And that was during a weekday because I had a concrete pour I had to do.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know where she got that information.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough information, Ms. Mills, to make that kind of order in the parenting plan. Again, if you have specific and credible documentation that that's occurring on a regular basis, I would encourage you to bring it up before you guys finalize parenting plans. I am just going to say, I'm not putting this in the order, but I'm going to say orally that I think it is beneficial for the kiddos to be with grandparents when parents aren't available. Beneficial for relationship for all parties, again, based on the evidence I have in front of me. So I'm going to decline to put any further restrictions on time with grandparents.
Your Honor, I have submitted so many documents on Paula Klein. She has to self-medicate with marijuana all day. She's been in multiple car accidents. Her bumper is all busted up because she smokes weed and drives.
Okay.
My children are not safe.
Ms.
And
Mills,
she used to abuse Samuel as a child.
Right.
He remembers being hit for no reason by his mother. So leaving them is reckless.
okay.
Hold
So,
on. That's
Mr. Mills,
ridiculous.
no. Mr. Mills, Ms. Mills, my ruling stands. I'm going to address the parenting plan per the GL report and our further discussions on the record. We are now moving to the child support order and worksheet as proposed by the state. So Ms. Looney, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we did prepare a proposed worksheet. We calculated parents' income for Mr. Mills. We based that off his employment security data for 2022. We came up with a net monthly income of $3,627. Ms. Mills, as a current TANF recipient, we have imputed her income at the current minimum wage for 32 hours per week per the statute, giving her a net monthly income of $1,953. With a standard calculation for child support from Mr. Mills to Ms. Mills will be $1,010 or $505 per child. And the state is requesting that begin in March of 2023, as that is when the children began receiving TANF benefits.
Mr. Mills, hold on a second. I will call on you when I am ready for you. So Mr. Mills, have you had a chance to review the state's proposed worksheets?
I've looked at it. Yes.
Okay. Do you have disagreement with it?
I do. Rebecca has an online business that she's still been actively doing, so she's not reporting income.
Okay, what other disagreements do you have with it?
It's too high. I can't afford that.
Do you disagree with your wages at $4,265 gross per month?
I believe I make less than that.
Okay. What is your proposal? What are you telling me that you make?
I mean, I only have overtime right now because it's summer. So through the rest of the year, my work's going to slow down. So I'll have an influx of income and then a deflux, and it'll probably be more around 3,000
Okay. When do you expect that deflux to occur, excuse me?
within the next 2 months.
Okay.
And then that will go on until the rest of this year through the following year and up to next summer.
Okay, so for the summer months, you're at a little bit higher wage, and then come, let's say September, you're gonna see it drop.
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Mills, let me ask you, your wages are being imputed because you do receive benefits, TANF benefits. Do you have other income producing activities that you perform?
I hand make tumblers. My income is so small, and it varies greatly. I would say maybe $200 a month to maybe $500 a month.
Okay.
So if we want to go off of that,
May I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
I have submitted a declaration showing that she's active on multiple pages. She makes more than tumblers. She's underplaying what she makes. She is trying to scam the system so that she can stay home and be taken care of by her new boyfriend and bring in as much money as the state will give her. She's also has refused to give me the children's birth certificates, which I finally was able to get new ones so that I could put them on my health insurance. I have informed her that the children are on my health insurance, and I said, hey, you should probably cancel the state insurance. It's not needed. I have very nice health insurance. And she's declined that. So if for some reason the state starts wanting to charge for that health insurance, I don't want to be responsible for it.
I told Samuel to provide me with medical cards, is what I told him.
As well as declining to cancel it. I don't have the medical card yet. They take multiple weeks to show up. I gave her the insurance numbers so that she can start using it though.
Ms. Looney, any input? I think specifically for me, it's on Mr. Mills, I guess, objection to his wages, which my inclination is to go ahead and set as proposed. Mr. Mills, you certainly could bring a motion to revise if and when you see income decrease. These are temporary orders. But Ms. Looney, I'll turn it over to you. And then I also have a question about whether the state wants to address right now what appears to be admissions of an extra 200 to 500 a month on behalf of Ms. Mills.
Your Honor, as far as Mr. Mills' income is concerned, we did use his income from 2022, which is what was currently available to us. During that year, he did consistently make overtime throughout the year. So we used that information to calculate his wages. As far as Ms. Mills' $200 to $500 additional income per month, the parent who's not paying his income changes child support very little. That amount would not change the support enough to, I don't even know that it would change the support amount. But if it did, it would just be a couple of dollars.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to find on this, I do find that there is a basis in the record for Mr. Mills' income historically. So although you may have fluctuations in income throughout the year, I do find that this accurately does reflect over time what you do receive. Ms. Mills, the imputed income is $2,188 gross income per month. Certainly, I think this court can find that if we were to look at actual income, it's probably going to be lower than that anyway. So I am going to go ahead and use the imputed $2,188 a month for Ms. Mills. I am going to sign the worksheet as proposed by the state. And again, Mr. Mills, if you see a substantial change in income, there's nothing to preclude you from bringing this back for re-review by the court?
Well, that was based off my last job. I just got this job this year.
And what I'm telling you is if you would like to bring a motion to have the temporary order changed because of a change in your income, you are free to do that.
And Your Honor, the state would just like to remind Mr. Mills, if he does that, he does need to serve our office with a copy.
Thank you, Ms. Looney. Okay, I have signed those orders. I'm going to get the parenting plan signed and filed after docket today, hopefully by about 2 o'clock. If any folks want to get a copy of that, it'll be available to you later this afternoon.
Your Honor,
Anything else on this matter? Go ahead, ma'am.
can we set a trial date to finalize this and get things moving?
So let's do this first. We'll have to have a discussion. So typically you folks would need to go to mediation on your permanent parenting plan. If you want to provide a motion to have this court find good cause to waive mandatory mediation, you can bring that in front of this court and then we'll get you set on the trial assignment docket.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think in both of our filings, we both wanted to just go through court and not do mediation. And I've been advised to try to waive that because of the protection order.
Okay.
We can't agree. It's very clear.
Okay, so why don't you do this? We could go ahead and set a date if you think that you could get a motion prepared. Asking this court to hold a very short hearing on whether to order mandatory mediation or find good cause to waive it. You would present that motion and order to me, and then we can have a short hearing on it. I can give you a date for that now if the parties plan to present that to me.
Okay, and what motion, do you know what that's called?
So look at our local civil rules.
Okay.
I have had an appointment to meet with a lawyer set for August 23rd, and I don't want anything major to happen before I can speak with my lawyer.
Okay, so let's do this then. It sounds like because you might be seeking counsel, let's not set a further date. But Ms. Mills, what I'm telling you is if you want to note on for any Wednesday 9 a.m. family law docket, your motion to waive mediation, please do so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
I respond to every phone call, every message. If I don't respond, I let her know the kids will be with their grandparents, which is Janice Nelson and Regina Nelson. And I will let them, that's their other two babysitters. She knows that she has their information. If I don't answer, she knows she can call them.
She has to self-medicate with marijuana all day.